Hey, hello,
Hello!
everybody.
How
How's
is everyone? I hope everyone's having a fabulous,
so
fabulous
so
Tuesday.
good?
Well, we have got some fabulous new players with us today, and we are very excited about
Yay!
that. So, I would like you all to welcome briefly Andy. Welcome.
Hello.
Yay! Welcome.
There's Andy is going to be joining us for the Hunter's Harvest campaign. We'll meet her character in just a little bit. And we are also bringing in Damien from our Delver's Dream campaign.
Yeah. Heck
Hi,
yeah.
hello.
And we will be meeting his new character briefly in just a moment. So that'll be delightful. To start, let us of course begin with our announcements. So, today in Hunter's Harvest, we will be doing all kinds of fun things in front of you. Then tomorrow we have our Delver's Dream campaign. Sadly, two players died last week. So this week we're going to be figuring out how the party reacts to that and what they're gonna do.
My guess is not good.
Not great, probably.
So there will definitely be some things going on there.
Yeah, spoiler.
Um,
Not good.
Then on Thursday we premiere our Wheel of Time campaign. Oh my god,
Heck
I'm so
yes.
excited. It's gonna be absolutely fabulous. So the Wheel of Time campaign is going to be a 7-week campaign that ends on November 18th, and then on November 19th, the next day, we're going to be doing a watch party on our channel to watch the premiere of the Wheel of Time on Amazon.
Ooh.
Oh,
It'll be
that's going to be
awesome.
glorious too. I'm so happy. And our very own Lando Duraxis here will be
Yeah.
jumping in with us for that, so that'll be absolutely glorious.
Heck yeah.
Then Friday we have our Magic the Gathering Smackdown, where Lando and I do all kinds of fun things with
I've been making
and
decks on stream. We got some nasty ones now.
some brutal ones.
Yeah, we have some,
It's going to be
some
distressing.
not very friendly ones.
Going to be so sad.
I made my first control deck, but I've never really messed with control decks. It's significant. It's probably my favorite deck now.
I love it. I love it. And then
Artifact decks
so-
are awesome.
we also have a few announcements when it comes to sponsors. So the sponsor that we have for our Delver Stream campaign called Reverie RPGs, they have got their Kickstarter just went live.
Oh,
So
nice.
jump in tomorrow. We will give you all the info there for that fabulous Kickstarter. You can go get some really cute tokens from them, much less expensive than miniatures, and super usable just everywhere. Super fabulous product. I love it. Then Souls Rolls is our sponsor for Thursday, and we'll be telling you all about them. And super fun news today, we hit 500 followers on Twitter, so...
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a great
Thursday,
milestone. Love it.
right? So for on Thursday, we are going to be doing a giveaway. And Lando, can you pop up the link for that giveaway? You can sign up right now,
Yep.
and we will be announcing the winner
Let me-
in our Wheel of Time campaign. So definitely go sign up. It's going to be Fizzband's Treasury of Dragons, which releases later this month on D&D Beyond. So we will send you a digital copy of that so
There
that
it
you
is.
can know all the things about all the dragons, which is really why all of us
God.
play.
I
So,
can't wait.
I mean, yeah. These
It's
campaigns
half
have
the
only
title
had
of our
one
game.
dragon, so I feel like
I
it's
don't
not
know.
quite
I
enough.
play for the dungeons.
Ah.
I want to know every dungeon.
Yeah,
Plays the
there have been
anthem,
dungeons.
So, first off, I would love to hear Mike, why don't you start us out? Tell me what happened last week.
What
Well,
happened?
man, what didn't happen last week? We ended up going to the wonderful plane of Mechanus, which, as soon as we got there, Relic really enjoyed it. It made sense to him. Everything was, as it should be. We get to meet some ant people, and then almost immediately after, uh, a war broke out on 3 parts. So
Yeah,
yeah, we had to deal with
yeah.
that a little bit.
Yeah, it was supposed to be nice, but then it
It
wasn't.
was it was supposed to be a nice holiday vacation, in and out trip, and then just all chaos broke loose on our plane of lawfulness, and not happy about it.
Yeah.
But we figured it out. We managed
So
to.
who were the combatants?
We had to fight an army of Slod. We had to fight we had to save the Formians, and we had to kind of convince the Modrons that the Formians weren't a threat. And the Formians were
Yeah.
the ant people that we should be talking to very soon again, I think.
So
Yes.
yay! And what happened with Diraxis?
Yeah, so Diraxis, because of the plane of complete lawfulness, he went full wild magic and created a giant fish. I'm like the words on the tip of my tongue. Basically, a giant crack
Mm,
hole in the earth. Vision.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, Diraxis
Big
leveled
explosions.
up and generated an entire valley of lava.
Yeah.
mhm.
His wild magic just went absolutely berserk. And so his response to that wild magic was to attune to an object of pure lawfulness, because why not? So
Right?
now
That's the next step.
Diraxis is this
And only
culmination
go well.
of chaos and lawfulness. He's like a walking paradox now.
Nope.
And he tuned to the touchstone of absolute law, and now he has some pretty significantly crazy abilities.
Okay, so it's not absolute law. Come on, no. It's the luminous geometry. It just likes order. You know?
Right. So it has very, very heavy leaning towards law.
Lawful-like tendencies.
Which Diraxis
Absolutely.
is
Yes.
chaos.
So yes, you all
That's
managed to, because of fabulous choices that you made, you actually managed to stop the war.
An ally.
I mean, a lot of people died. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
A
there was
lot of people died.
Wasn't a bloodless war.
but not as many as could have died.
Yeah.
You
helped.
convinced the
We
Modrons
helped.
to pull back a little bit. You said, "Pull out of me, please," and they did, and that was good. Then you gave a Formian queen to the Slods, which they are planning on using as sort of a Slod farm, where the queen is just going to keep producing Formians for them to put their eggs into. But now there's a
It got out of
Formian
hand.
colony growing
They couldn't do it
on
fast enough.
Limbo.
Yeah.
But there is a colony growing in Limbo, and we'll see how that goes. Putting a super lawful group with a hive mind into.
Are they true lawful?
They're gonna dominate. It's gonna be insane.
Yeah.
Limbo's just
figure
gonna
it
be one
out.
big ant farm.
Right.
The
Get
slots
the little
have
daddy
no
over
idea
there.
what they're doing. They're like, these people are too efficient at changing our world.
So yes, we're very excited about all of that.
That's gonna be nice.
And today, like I said, we're going to be finding some fabulous new friends. So,
Yeah.
in addition to that, let us go over how you as an audience, because we love audience participation, how you as an audience can participate here. So we've got a lot of things that we can do with channel points. So it doesn't cost you anything except some of your time. You will accumulate channel points just by watching, just by interacting with us. And there's all kinds of things you can do, like learn secrets or give people advantage or even haste them for a little bit. In addition to that, if you look down below, you will see what you can do with bits, up to and including creating environmental effects that will alter the entire scene. So go check those out. If we do something super fabulous, feel free to cheer, and you will then be able to alter the game even more. So it is now time for us to begin Hunter's Harvest.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
So,
PM, can I get a character sheet and roll 20 real quick?
a what?
Can I get a character sheet and roll 20 real quick so it's easier for me to roll?
Lando, is there any way that you can do that? Do I have to do that?
Whoever's in control of the roll 20 game.
Sure. Is there any way that we can do it through D&D Beyond
You should be able to
today,
automate
and then
it.
I can set that up for you?
I mean, I don't have the extension, so somebody else has to roll.
I can do it. I got you.
Awesome. Perfect. Yay. Let's do that.
Just call
Okay,
it out, and
so-
I got you.
There's so now. As we I like you starting out with a charisma crit. Okay.
We were doing some
Alrighty,
testing.
I was just testing it. The girl is
I'm
not
just-
charismatic, but she did crit.
Right. You can do it. So
As well.
we begin today in Hunter's Harvest, our fabulous little mining colony up in the mountains known as Devil's Bane. This colony has grown very quickly because there's one amongst them that has the ability to shape stone and buildings incredibly quickly and can build items from nothing with just a thought. He is known as Corton Mason, and he is responsible for the growth of this colony from a few tents into a quickly growing little town. He has created for himself a fabulous tower, as he is a wizard of might. And on the first level of the tower, he's created a sitting room. Carved into the floor is a rune that forces anyone who enters it to speak only the truth, including Corton. You always know in that room he will never lie. But he is also a man that enjoys the finer things in life. And Lando, if you will, show off Corton's sitting room.
Yes.
He has decorated it in gilded furniture, created from just a few sticks of wood and some painting pigments, beautiful portraits of people that he has met throughout the multiverse. Windows and chandeliers hanging in every place there can be. And at all times, hot tea ready to be served to anyone who enters. Today's session begins as one of the merchant princes of Joaquin Spiral, one of the leaders of the country, comes barreling into Corton's study, dragging a beleaguered rabbit folk behind her. Her name is Hovel Lightfoot, the merchant prince of loyalty. She runs the College of Bards, which is known far and wide for the performers that it puts out. As she enters, Corton spins around, about to start yelling at whoever dared to enter his study. without knocking. But when he sees Havel, he quiets down. It's always interesting when she appears because he knows she's going to try something. She approaches and says, Corton, we accepted you and your crew because we didn't have a choice. The world had just changed. Not just the world, the sky itself had just changed. Everything was chaos and needed the people of the prismatic sleigh to help maintain order. The order they had just crushed simply by landing on our shores. We see what you're trying to do with the mine. We're not idiots. You can consider our friend here, Jack, our new insurance policy. Corton looks at her and says, Havel, I don't need an insurance policy. I've done everything that the Council of Princes has asked. Oh, you've done much more than that, good sir. You've created ties with other countries, other planes even. I see you. I see you truly. And I won't let you rob us of this mine. Oh, you have a war to think about, don't you? Oh, I have a future to think about. What's the point of spending all our resources if we can't replenish them afterwards? The mine will allow us to maintain our way of life after this war has emptied all our coffers. And what of the dwarves who created it? Would you simply tell them that they do not get to keep their home, their wealth? I can't wait to watch that. I think I'll have Gorf develop a new snack just for the occasion. Havel spins around at that and says, Don't mock me, Corton, or you'll find a dagger in your back. When she says that, Corton's face gets very dark. His beard seems to bristle, and he very calmly turns to her and says, Don't threaten me, Havel, or I'll tear your whole spine out through your rib cage. Don't let your ego get the better of you. If it does, you'll lose much more than your precious mind. Now, would you care for some tea, Havel, Jack? And with that,
question.
Jack, yes,
Am I already in disguise?
you are in disguise as your rabbit foot, your Clark Kent personality.
Okay, fair enough.
You are a scholarly bunny. That is what you are right now.
Well, I do say I think I would enjoy a cup of tea, quite yes.
Oh, good. A civilized one. Fantastic. Corton pours out the tea. You see a plate of steaming sausages there as well. Corton doesn't bother to offer you a sausage as you are a rabbit. He digs around in the kitchen to see if he's got any vegetables. Havel, why don't you tell me why the two of you are actually here? Havel turns again and says, Corton, I need someone here. Let's just be honest with each other. I need someone here to keep an eye on you, to let me know what the hell you're getting up to, because you're getting up to too much. All right? We don't like what we're seeing. You're turning this into a whole defensive camp. So, Jack here is going to go wherever your people go, and he's going to keep an eye on them too. All right, Corton? Or else, we're going to pull out of the war effort. Corton looks a little dismayed at this, not super upset. He says, Yes, Jack, all right, you look fine. I'm sure you can take notes while they...
Oh, yes. Expert of taking notes. Pats the big old book he's carrying.
Wonderful. All right. Tell me, Jack, what do you do in your spare time?
Oh, well, enjoy a good spot of tea, maybe some crumpets here and there, but I do like to study the, let's say, histories, mysteries, and lore of the world, yes.
Ah, certainly. That's delightful. Do you get up to anything else?
Well, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with the title of Jack.
Ah, you're one of those. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, Hovel, what a lovely little present you've brought me. Yes, I am familiar with the most flamboyant assassins on the continent. The Jacks. How are the queens, the kings, and the aces doing, Hovel? I'm sure you have at least one of them here in the mine. Hovel just sort of laughs a little bit, giggles to herself. Doesn't really say anything. So, Jack, tell me.
Oh, I do say, for now, you can call me Randolph. Randolph Wimbledon
Randolph.
Harrison, at your service.
I'm sorry, can you please repeat that name?
Randolph Wimbledon Harrison, at your service.
Wimbledon Harrison.
Okay, I have to say real quick, I play another Hairfolk in a campaign I do off stream, and it's hilarious because the voice I chose was basically John Cleese, which is so similar to what you're doing. I'm like, we just know that's how rabbits sound. That's just how it is. That's just
Yeah, absolutely.
We all read Redwall. We know that's how they sound.
right. Oh, okay, that was my inspiration for it too. That's hilarious.
Oh my lord. So yes. Well, Randolph, tell me, what are you hoping to discover here?
Oh, well, anything that might, fill out this here book of mine, but, I kind of have to go wherever it tells me.
Yes, of course. Yes, Hovel, you do pull any number of interesting strings, don't you, dear? Huh. Fabulous. Well, I'm wondering. And with that, suddenly there comes a pounding on the door. Corton just rolls his eyes epically and says, "Yes, come in." And there are two guards dragging what looks like a tiefling who has had the majority of their clothes singed. Corton looks her over briefly, realizes that she must be one of the people that fell from the sky. For those watching who don't know, a few episodes ago, Asmodeus, the Lord of the Nine Hells, shut off Malbolge from the rest of the universe and kicked out everyone who was not a denizen of the lower planes. Across the multiverse, there was a fiery rain as prisoners from that hellish realm were thrown across the multiverse. On this world, they were thrown to a mile or two above the ground, and the vast majority of them perished when they landed, though some had abilities that allowed them to survive the fall, if they survived the fire first. So, Corton looks her up and down, gauges her strength, decides that she's not a threat, and sends his guards away. Well, it looks like we've got another to add to the party. Hovel, perhaps it would be best if you went back to the Bard's College, my dear. Hovel looks around, realizes that in this room in particular, there might be a slip of the tongue that could complicate matters for her. So she looks around and says, "It's lovely. It's been lovely tea. Thank you so much. And I suppose I will see you all at the Bard's College. All right.
Good night,
Goodbye."
ma'am. You can rely on me.
I know, sweetness.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you all later.
Go back and drink a Sam Adams.
That's right. So, why don't you tell us, Andy, what we see?
All right. You see like you said, a tiefling wearing like singed clothing. Like she has foot wraps but they're kind of burned off, and she's like half barefoot. She is like purpley skinned, with like ratty black, like just a mass of curly frizz hair that is also singed because fire.
Right. So no more split ends.
Yeah.
That's always nice.
Burned
But it
off.
smells awful. But it smells terrible.
Yeah.
Dude, say, you look like you could use a spot of tea.
Yes, my dear.
Do you
Do
have-
come in.
do you have any? What the fuck
Any
is this
what,
place?
dear? Oh, yes. You must be one of. Oh, you're one of those. Yes, my dear. There's welcome to Delver's Dream. Would you care for some tea?
Is it poisoned?
It
That
is
happens
not.
a lot where I'm from.
Yeah, yes, I would guess so. I would guess so. I'm assuming that you were evicted just a few days ago from where you had been staying, shall we say?
Yeah. Quite
Yeah.
violently evicted, I would say.
Well, things like that do happen down in that neighborhood, I suppose you could say, you could call it. But no, dear, we tend to enjoy our tea, just tea, maybe with a little milk, maybe a little sugar. I prefer it black personally, but
Milk is good. Do you have food? Because
and you look over and you see the steaming pile of fresh sausages
I
on the
dash
table.
for it and I just
Ooh.
chomp it down.
So as you're heading over, Damian, why don't you tell us what she sees when she looks at this fabulous little rabbit folk?
Well, he's a dapperly dressed gentleman with grayish and white fur, ears perky and attentive, a monocle placed carefully over his right eye, and a just this very nice dress vest under like a sort of gentleman's coat, with a very large book held close to his chest and a cup of tea in his other hand.
Fabulous.
He's only about 5 feet tall.
So, you look a little hungry, dear. How long were you wandering in the wilderness?
A few days, but I hadn't eaten much before then anyway.
Why not?
We were on the battlefield. Mm.
Oh, so you're coming directly for the blood war.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh.
What exactly did you do? And Corton's eyes sort of light up. He recognizes that the level of skill it takes just to participate in that.
Randolph is scribbling in his book furiously.
So, my dear, yes. What were your duties in the war?
Why do you need to know?
Well, I'm sure you understand that if you would like more sausages and more tea, perhaps a comfortable bed to sleep in, that everyone must pull their weight.
All right. Just like the devils you are. Everyone's got to do something for me, or I won't give you basic needs like food and shelter and water.
Well, I think you're being a little bit dramatic, dear.
Yeah, I don't think I am.
We don't torture people simply because they look at us wrong.
No, devils don't do that. They just kill
yes.
you.
I'm
They
thinking of
torture you
demons.
if you do other things. Yeah, don't get those confused.
That's true.
It's a bad
You
look
are
for a
correct.
wizard, for a powerful mage such as yourself.
Oh,
my god.
my goodness. I would say that your tongue is forked, my dear. Well, I think perhaps that your skills could be useful. I think the attitude might not be quite so useful in some of the endeavors that we are facing. But if your
Haven't eaten in
skills
2
are,
days. Or slept.
well,
What the fuck do you think I'm gonna act like?
well, given the company that you've kept up until recently, I expect you to act exactly the way that you're acting now. One thing that you will understand, though, having worked with devils for as long as you have, I'm happy to have you sign a contract with us, if you would care to do so, ensuring that your needs will be met and that you will help to ensure the prosperity of our little hamlet here.
And can I sleep on it?
Yes, I suppose so. I do believe that we will need a place for both of you to stay, won't we? I'm so sorry. What was the name again?
Mikal.
Mikal. Yes. And Rutherford, was it?
Randolph. Yeah.
Randolph. Yes, Randolph, of course. Yes, I would love to see. I would love to see how you two get on. I'm sure it'll be just like a house on fire, won't it? So, let me show you to some accommodations that we
I would
have.
be most appreciative, yes. He's still scribbling in his book, mind you. He hasn't looked up from it.
And as they will McCall follow?
Yeah, but like hesitantly.
So as
You know
Corton
that as
actually...
Randolph moves, just his legs bounce, but his upper body remains perfectly still, allowing him to write.
Nice.
That is
Oh my God.
hilariously awesome.
Oh my
He's
God.
like a gyroscope or whatever it's called.
Right. He's a gyroscopic
Yeah, he doesn't
rabbit.
step, he just
Fantastic.
bounces.
That's awesome.
I love it. There is so. This should be quite fun. As Corton enters the sitting room from the kitchen where he had been poking his head out, you see an elderly mage with a whitening beard in a long, dark robe that seems to sparkle somehow, not as though it were created of anything that sparkles, but that there was something behind the fabric that gave off light. You see several beads sewn into his mustaches and his beards of all different colors. And you see that the rims of his robes are in rainbow shades. As he walks past you, you just sense power. Both of you realize very quickly that if you were ever to attempt to do battle with him, that you would be utterly smashed immediately. He looks at both of you, crooks his finger, and says, "Come with me. I believe it is time to show you where you will be sleeping today." And as you walk out the door, we will remove ourselves to Mechanus,
Yoink!
to the hive of the Formian Queen, where we shall join our adventurers from last week. Lando, if you will show the people that delightful bit.
Absolutely.
Tell me what you see.
The queen and her entourage.
In a giant anthill. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's not upsetting.
these ants look terrifying.
Yes.
They remind me of
Yeah,
like if Alien was an ant.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah, they are not to be.
but they're good guys.
Uh,
They're on our side. They owe us big time.
Yeah, they do. They do have a kind of
Um,
a xenomorph vibe going on, don't they?
They do, especially the queen.
Yeah.
well, and they also have a hive mind, you know.
Perfect.
So that's
It's
always fun.
terrifying.
So they, and as you listen to the queen, you realize that she speaks in the voices of the people around her. She never speaks herself.
Mm.
But you feel a buzzing in the back of your head anytime she starts. There is, she looks at you, she says, "It is sorrowful that we must have given up one of our children, especially a queen. But it was a sacrifice worthy of the hive. We are currently repairing the dam that the Slods had destroyed, and now it is time for us to get back to the work of farming and expanding our hive. What else is it that you linger for?"
Well, Duraxis, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I think probably the best thing to do is invite you to we have a market stall in Delver's Dream, and we think that you would be a lovely addition to that little alliance. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much the short of it. Would that be something that you're interested in? You'd have access to all kinds of different peoples and groups and planes. Well, at least, well, maybe not. Yeah, I spoke out of turn there, but at least access to people from different planes, expand your horizons quite a bit. I don't know if that sounds of interest to you, but I think it would be a beneficial alliance.
We are always interested in expanding our horizon. I shall speak to the matriarch about this. And she seems to go quiet, but the buzzing in the hive suddenly gets very intense.
Oh, so she's
And
speaking
you
the leader of the
realize-
whole race.
Yes. She is, all of the queens are connected to each other, and there is a giant hive towards the center of Mechanus that is ruled over by the matriarch of the Formian people. So
Bet you they got a
essentially,
mafia.
they don't need a mafia. They're perfectly
No,
orderly.
Yeah,
Right.
They just go in.
Right.
So
they don't need
just
to commit
for
crimes.
people-
Yeah,
yeah. So to help people understand the Formians, the Formians are a race of lawful ant centaurs, essentially. They have a hive mind, and they are very expansionist. They destroy someone. If they aren't hurting the hive or hurting them, they'll just sort of let them exist and move on with their lives. But if they decide that they are going to colonize an area, they will just colonize it and just kill everyone in the area. Like, they'll just, if the people don't leave, they'll just turn the people into food. That's how lawful they are. This is now their space, and no one else gets to use this space. This is just theirs, and they will kill anybody that comes in. So
Yeah, I mean the one rule is you can't colonize the material plane. It's off limits. Sorry, it's part of the deal.
she looks at you as though she doesn't understand that. It's just not a concept that she gets.
Oh, then
There's-
maybe we should rethink this. He whispers to Relic, like, "Oh, this is a good idea."
Perhaps there is another race that we could trade with here too? You could help us. You could assist us in finding them.
Yeah,
So
introduce us.
what you are saying is you would only want drones. We will not be extending our colony.
Yes, the colony would stay here,
Yep.
but we would
And you can
work
expand
some kind.
here. I believe infinitely is. If I understand how planes work.
Hmm.
And
Um,
already have people on Limbo. It's already a leg up. But the material plane
There
is
is a
for
single
certain people.
there is a single queen's egg on Limbo currently. Who knows what will happen to it? The energies of that plane might warp her into something horrific to us.
hmm.
Or really cool. That's another possibility too. You never know with Limbo.
Possibilities. I mean,
endless. Only the gods
prime.
know.
Only the gods would know, really.
Yes. Well, I suppose if you would like to trade with us, we could collect items from throughout our empire and bring them to you in exchange for. And she tries to sort of like comprehend the idea of a market
Hmm.
because in her world it doesn't
that
exist at
makes
all.
sense.
Well, perhaps it's not exactly goods. There could be a trade of services as well.
Or information as well.
Your builders are, I mean, phenomenal in how well they work. So that could prove very useful on the prime material plane.
This could be interesting. And you will supply food.
That seems like a fair enough trade, Draxus.
But not people food. Just
Not
to,
people.
Again, no.
Most of the time.
I mean, we'll bring the food to you. You don't need to search for it. We'll make sure it gets to you. Yeah, things could get out of hand very quickly if we don't word this right.
Are you saying that to me, Draxus, or?
Sorry, I should have said that in my regular voice. That was out of character. I was like thinking, oh shit, we gotta be really careful about how we say this.
You know, I imagine that he just thinks
Like,
out loud.
have all these
sometimes.
clauses. Yeah, I mean, that's probably true too.
So yeah, what do you think? That sounds like a fair enough trade
Yeah.
to me.
I think that it sounds wonderful.
Then we are agreed. And
Right.
with that, you feel the amulet in your pocket start to shake.
Oh, I guess we could do the portal here. I didn't think that would probably be like great for you, having it in your chambers.
Maybe we should move the portal somewhere else.
Maybe do it right outside. Maybe. Outside the.
So unfortunately, the way that these work is that whoever signs the contract, they will sign the contract in the spot in which the portal is going to be, and the queen cannot move.
Well, there's a hive mind.
Can we have it be? I mean, I'm assuming they're not going to sign it literally.
No, there's a contract.
There's a contract.
Okay, so she physically needs to sign it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing is, you definitely could do a proxy, but if that proxy dies, then the portal stops functioning.
Oh yeah, then I guess we're left with it being a portal to here. I mean, to be fair, Delver's Dream is very well defended, and the mine is cleared out. There's like tons of dwarves.
You see,
and things.
As you're talking, you feel this sort of buzzing, and suddenly you see these workers just all come in one after another and just line up, and one of them puts their like back legs on the queen and then attaches their front legs to the one in front of them, and they just keep doing that in a chain all the way out. And she says, "You may go to the head of the line."
That's brilliant. I
You're
love it.
You're gonna be carried over there. Okay.
Well,
No,
Sure.
you have to walk. They're not carrying you.
No,
They-
no,
No, no,
they're
the
just-
queen.
yes,
The queen's
of
gonna
course.
carry.
They're gonna carry the queen, though. That's very regal. Come on, Diraxis, let's go. This
Yeah,
is so weird.
this is fucking weird as shit.
Okay.
Let's go outside.
And you see as the entire hive enters the queen's chamber, essentially. So she is the largest among them, and the egg sac is probably, like, her ovipositor is probably somewhere in the realm of, like, 200 feet long.
Oh,
She's a
God.
she's constantly
Oh.
just making babies. Like, that's what she does.
She's fertile AF.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Ants.
So they slowly carry her out. You watch as you're watching, you see the workers literally like carrying like buckets of dirt away as they're expanding the the entrance of the cave so that she can actually step out into
Yeah,
the world.
this is weird, but this is worth it.
Very
Like for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, this is worth it.
once in a lifetime opportunity to see this
Yeah,
amazing.
this is quite incredible. I wish I took notes and
Yes,
could draw.
yes. And me too. Anyway,
So- As
Says the
you-
robot
as
with
you-
likely photographic memory.
yep.
as the workers bring you the queen just outside the entrance to the hive, what do you do with the amulet?
Well, this is yours now, I believe.
Nope, it sure is not. It's just
yours
you've
now.
got a vibrating amulet in your hands. I was just honestly, do you pull it out of your pocket? Is what
Oh,
I was
yes.
Oh
asking.
yeah.
I think we were both like, shoot,
Sorry.
how does it work exactly? We totally kind of
Let me-
forgot.
Yeah.
We're like,
Let me clarify
here.
that for We'll just clear that up real quick.
Yeah.
There's,
Yes, we don't leave it in our pocket if it's vibrating.
as you hold the amulet out, suddenly a contract magically appears, a stone tablet. She looks at it, she begins to read it, and then you see a beam from the stone tablet shoot at her face, and you realize that it is literally downloading all the information in the contract to her.
Oh,
And because she is used to telepathy, she's totally fine with this. She says, yes, these terms are acceptable. And she... right.
Laser contact.
You know what that's made of? It's made of plot armor. There it is. There it is. So she signs by taking her mandibles and clicking several times onto the page. And you see it disappear. Unbeknownst to you, it reappears actually embedded in one of the columns near the market in Delver's Dream. So it is now a permanent fixture of the market. You then see the amulet split itself in two, and one of them floats over to her as she is now the Amulet Bearer.
got some
She looks over at you
fancy
and she
bling
says, "Is there anything else?"
No, this has been
I've-
quite the trip. Drax, did you want anything?
Yeah, I mean, you all been quite delightful.
Sorry about the war. That was
She just ignores you now. She is very efficient. She is done. She is
Yes.
finished
Yep.
speaking with you.
All right.
She
yeah.
doesn't understand
Good talk.
niceties. She just turns
fantastic.
around and leaves.
All
Hashtag
right.
girl boss.
Well, that was definitely
That was
something.
probably the
Draxus.
strangest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Um,
Yeah, I guess we go.
do everything once.
We
you
go
know?
home.
Let's
Yeah,
go
I mean,
home.
Let's
Home. Yes.
let's go home. Yeah, that's
Okay.
I prefer that over.
I don't
anything
sleep and
else.
I'm exhausted from that. That was
And
physically.
Yeah.
as
let's
you
do it.
look, I mean, having stopped a war is delightful. Yes, it's absolutely something that one should be exhausted by. There's And you see as the grass and the stone at your feet, on the exact spot where the contract was signed, begins to form into a very large circular indentation. And you realize that it is turning itself into a portal to Delver's Dream Marketplace. Tell me, do you have anything else that you would like to do here, or do you step through?
You think we put this in the right place? It's too late now.
Yeah,
Never mind.
it's completely too late. I mean,
Yeah,
we
it's
did the best we could with
dang
what. I mean, we watched it for like an hour being carried
For
out.
an hour. That was a long,
So
a long
it was
walk.
a long walk for them,
Okay.
but it was worth it so that we don't have people teleporting right in his chambers.
Just- Yeah.
I feel like that
Okay.
was a good courtesy to do, and not just be like, "Oh, hey, yeah, sign this right here."
It was weird.
That'd be quite
Anyway.
weird, I think.
Let's go see what else we need to get.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
there's always the next thing.
And we step through.
Fabulous. So you step into an increasingly busy marketplace. The Elemental Fountain, for those who don't know, this is just every time I talk about it, every time I mention it, I have to talk about it because it's one of my favorite things
It's
in the
pretty
whole
great.
mine.
It's pretty great.
It's pretty dope.
It is a several 100-foot long fountain that has tiny little portals that open into the elemental chaos in a series over and over again at regular intervals. So you will have water getting thrown up in beautiful fountains, and then all of a sudden it will turn to steam as the portals shift from the plane of water to the plane of fire, which will then shoot up into the sky, still contained by the fountain, which will then be replaced by tornadoes casting little lightning bolts all over the place, which will then be replaced by fountains of mud, which then get turned into, or fountains of earth that then get turned into mud as the water comes back. And it is in fact very dangerous. And if you put your hand in there, it'll get roasted.
Be gone.
It sure will. The group did manage to defeat an army of little baby demons and devils by luring them into the fountain all at once. So that was definitely an interesting day. So
I mean, that was someone else that did that, but that was intense.
right.
Those are other
So,
party. But yes.
As you head up out of the mine to go and try to relax, pull yourself together, you run into Corton escorting two people you've never seen before. Tell me, Relic, what do the two new people see when they look at you?
They see a very tall, very bulky-looking Warforged, which in this world is, it's not a creature that many, if any, people have seen before. He's wearing
They're
a
new.
brand spanking new to the 6 years old new to the world.
He's a little baby.
Hey, calm down now, okay? He's wearing a set of chainmail armor, which, if you look close enough, it actually looks like it might be attached to him physically. And he's wearing a red cloak to help kind of hide his face from people.
His
Fabulous.
And along his right arm is a crystalline structure that goes all the way up to his shoulder.
Ooh. And tell me, what do they see when they look at Diraxis?
They see a dark elf that has these big goggles. Well, actually, they're on his eyes because he's outside. Because without them, he couldn't see hardly anything. So he looks like he's well dressed for an adventure. He's got like a long coat. And you could see kind of under his shirt that he's got some he's got a little bit of armor protection under there. but he just exudes magic. You just kind of see it leaking out of him. Like you could tell that he's not even doing it on purpose. It's just kind of just oozing out.
Just a couple of badasses. That's what they see.
Yeah. Couple of
Oh yeah, the force is strong with this one.
grizzled veterans.
So tell me, Damien, what do you think of the two people that you see striding towards you?
Were you asking me?
I am.
Oh, the force is strong with this one. And this is a magnificent piece of something to study.
Piece of friend.
Yeah,
He's-
please.
He's a
No pieces, no souvenirs.
he's a person. We already had someone try to fiddle. That sounds. Every word I
He
think
immediately
of
gets up.
to
He
describe
immediately
it
gets up
is
to Relic,
dirty.
and he's just like, "So tell me, were you one that was decommissioned and rebuilt for us taken from the Lich Queen's army?" He's just scribbling in his book.
Oh, you're one of those people that just asks right away, huh?
Yeah.
Seems awfully personal.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many people know about that, so you're very strange to me. But no, I escaped from the war party. That Draxus, I can't.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I mean,
Fascinating. Do you have predominantly gears, or is there some sort of lubrication going on?
yeah,
here?
that I don't know.
That very personal question. Okay, I don't want you. Let's change the topic.
Let's
Oh,
move
yes,
on.
sorry, apologies. Where are my manners?
I could tell you,
I am
eager
Randolph
fellow.
Wimbledon Harrison.
Sorry.
Harrison.
Randolph Wimbledon Harrison, at your service.
Oh. Nice to meet you.
It's
All
the
right.
whole thing every time. The whole
Every
thing,
time.
Every time.
Wow.
Yeah. What? Do we have a short name that we could call you?
Randolph is quite sufficient, yes.
That works. I mean,
That works.
I like that.
And
I mean,
you, madam.
That's less syllables than my name. That works.
Madam.
Madam.
Mikal will do, thanks.
The cow.
If you have to call me anything.
Okay. Forton, who are these lovely people?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, hello. Yes, why don't you tell me what you got up to on Mechanus?
Short or long version?
Let's try the short one.
There was a war, we got the touchstone.
Okay,
And-
maybe just slightly
and
longer.
the Formians are now in the market, and there's a queen in limbo.
In a good way. Formians
yes,
are
yes.
in the market.
But
All
like
right.
we
good
have
way.
like special things that they
Um,
can't do that they'd be inclined to do that we said
Well,
no, they can't
There
do
was
that.
obviously, we're going to need to do a little debrief, aren't we?
Yes,
Yes,
that would be lovely.
that would be good. And
Just
yeah.
furiously writing in his book.
Oh, and
So
we
have-
got the touchstone. Yeah, that.
So
got
we've
that.
got a. Yes, I already heard that.
Yeah. Okay, just making sure.
Good.
Good lord. There's a lot going on. I don't have time for 6 stories again and again and again. Yes, you got the touchstone. Delightful. Good. Who
Yeah.
got it?
I just point.
I did.
Oh,
It was a surprise to me too.
It just felt right.
Mhm.
that should be very interesting to see.
Yeah, that's
I
kind of what I
think-
was thinking too.
Do you have a little bit of a headache right now?
Yeah, I feel like I have 2 different forces in my body right now that are constantly vying for supremacy. So that's
Yes,
an interesting
makes
feeling.
sense.
But at the other time, it kind of feels kind of nice.
All right,
It's
what
weird.
is your I need to know what's your primary casting stat?
Oh, it's charisma.
Charisma.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is your lowest stat?
Strength. He's
Strength.
weak.
What
It's-
is your
it's just-
charisma right now?
It's maxed.
Oh, it's a 20.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You as you are standing there now that you have left the plane of order, and things are starting to get back in your head and in your body to the more chaotic ways that things tend to work in the prime material plane. You can feel the touchstone trying to rearrange you. It doesn't like how chaotic you are, and it is now
makes
attempting
sense.
to shift you. So we're going to have. I know this has been a big, long intro stream, but we are finally getting to our first roll.
Hey.
Yeah.
Just gonna be damage, probably. Nice.
I
Yeah,
need
you take
to
you take
roll
one
me
d4
a-
every 2 minutes you exist
Yes,
from now on.
yes.
Forever.
Well,
Mhm.
now that you've said that, you sure do. But it
Ooh.
increases. It increases by the ratio of the golden ratio.
Yep.
So you take 1d4 and then 60, like an extra 60% above that next time, and an extra 60% above that the next time. Yeah. So you'll be dead in an hour.
Yep.
It'll be fine.
If an hour.
Yeah. Now, I would like a Constitution saving throw from you, please, sir. If I might be so bold as to ask for one of those.
Not bad.
Oh,
Let's see.
19.
All right, so nothing happens. But you are going to have to roll a Constitution saving throw every day. Every
What happens if
day.
I fail it?
Oh, you'll find out when you fail, won't you?
Okay. All right.
You freaking die. That's it.
Yeah.
I
that's
feel
the
like
end
I feel like he's gonna pain my soul and be like, "Oh, hey, you go up 2 strength and you lose 2 charisma." I'm like, no,
Yep.
I'm not
You just
maxed
get
anymore.
Just sucks into nothingness like a black hole.
Mhm.
Like, you
Right.
just get slowly, just get more strength and less charisma.
You just become average. That's what it is.
It's like
While they
all
are
your stats slowly become 10.
while they're having this conversation, can I try and like sneak away from this creepy wizard man?
Sure. Yes, you can. Roll me a stealth check with disadvantage because you're just like in the middle of a street
Yeah.
right now.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
Okay, sure.
Dang.
So
You-
Wow.
So I want you to I want you to
What,
describe to me what you do
Mr.
to try to
Axis
get away.
I'm just like I've been slowly backing up
Nope.
and like letting him
misses it.
talk to the other two. Oh, sorry. I've been slowly like just backing towards the
Dang.
wall for the last like 2.5 minutes.
Well, they've all been
Until-
talking.
Yeah, until I'm like dark colored and I'm wearing dark clothes, so I'm just kind of trying to keep to the wall and just like very slowly get out of
Hey,
there.
Lando, can you roll perception for me?
Yep.
Do what?
We're all rolling perception to see if we can see her leave.
Sure.
Which we,
Delightful.
I'm probably
which
gonna
we
fail.
Which
can't.
no one has yet.
I'll just look at Corton and I'll just say, man, Corton, now that we've collected 2 of these, the epic power of these planar touchstones, we're gonna be targets for people, aren't we?
Oh, yes. Did I forget to mention that?
Yeah, I feel like that was not mentioned, but I mean, it makes sense if we had
It
thought
just
about
comes
it.
as it just comes as common knowledge when you start gaining power that other people are going to try to take it from you. I didn't
Yeah.
feel like I would need to explain that. But yes, these are very powerful, and they can do all kinds of things.
And you're
And
having us collect more of them.
yes, I am. Because in the end, the universe will depend on whoever has them.
Yeah. I mean, better us
Understand that
than
those who would like to see chaos rule or evil rule, they will come for you, and they will try to kill you simply so they can take possession of your touchstone. Yes, you are a target. It's why I have built walls.
Is that also why we're collecting more people, like these people?
Well, these two were unintentional collections. And Corton, at that point,
two?
is going to look around and tell me where you are right now.
I am looking for the kitchen. So if we're in are we in like a hallway or?
No, you're
No,
out in the
we're
open,
outside.
but you've
Oh,
left.
the open.
You've left the tower, and
We're like
you
in
were
the middle of a
walking
street.
towards. So we've left the tower, and we're walking towards an apartment complex.
Great. I am looking for food.
More.
All right, have you started like climbing anything or anything like that?
Just kind of scampering between like hidey places, sniffing for fresh, tasty
Sure.
treats.
Oh, nice.
Oh
Sure.
shit!
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh damn, he got me.
Yeah, Corton's
So-
wise as fuck.
Corton is you as you are heading towards the smell of food, suddenly in front of you a wall of stone just drops right out of the sky, literally a foot in front of you. And Corton slowly comes
What?
up to you and says, "My dear, if you'd like something, you only need to ask."
I have to sign a contract for it, don't I?
You might. I
Ugh.
did that as a way to help you understand. You don't necessarily need to sign the contract.
Oh.
But if you do not want to help Delver's dream, you will have to find your own way in the world.
Yo.
McBluff,
So-
thank you for the 5
Oh my God!
gifted
Thank you,
subs.
McBluff.
You're a delight.
That's amazing.
Aw.
That is gorgeous. Well, you know what? For that, McBluff,
Toot
you're
toot.
gonna get a thing. Guess what you get? You get to pick. I think for 5, we'll go very rare. You get to pick a very rare item
Oh
to
gosh.
give to one of our newest members.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool.
That's pretty dope.
So you let me nothing with flying because I will burn it in front of them. It's unacceptable.
Don't make us watch that.
No!
But yes.
So,
Yeah, he said guess. Alright,
Yes.
waited long
Yes.
enough.
I waited almost a full second. Damn it.
You can't
How
type
dare
fast enough, it's not my fault.
So yes,
Oh, yeah.
let us know what fabulous magical item you want to give to one of our new people. In the So now it is time for you to react to Corton. He has just laid a wall directly in your path.
this is such an asshole move.
Yes, my dear. When I see
So-
someone sneaking around the premises who I do not know yet, and who has said nothing except that she wants food and will not commit to helping us, then yes, I am wary.
Hold the fucking phone! Fantasy phone! You haven't said who us is. You haven't told me anything about what. I just got dragged in
sorry.
here. I don't. As are about.
I'm sorry, I do believe that there was plenty of time for you to ask questions while you were shoving sausages in your mouth.
I do believe there was plenty of time for you to explain after you sent 2 thugs to drag me into some random place.
I did no such thing. You obviously must have appeared at the gate, and the guards did not know what to do with you. And as the leader of this environment here, they brought you to me so that I could resolve the situation.
Grab people. They're just
Were
like,
the guards-
all right, you're nearby. Gotcha.
Were the guards rough with you, dear?
Yes.
Point them out to me, please.
I point out the guards if they're around.
You see,
You like go hunt them down. Be like this guy and this guy.
you see Corton cast a little cantrip, and you suddenly hear a booming voice say, "You and you, get over here now." And the guards sort of start shaking a little bit, but
Oh,
they head over.
I turn to Dirax and I'm just like, I love it when he does this. Watch.
He's gonna make them shit themselves. It's gonna be,
Yeah.
be hilarious.
He, as the guards approach, he looks at them and he says, "Did you mistreat this young woman?" The guards look over at her and they say, "We're very sorry if we you didn't treat you proper, miss. Very, very sorry.
like,
I'm very sorry."
like almost crying.
Don't kill me.
And Corton looks at you, McCall, and says, "Do you accept their apology?"
Yeah, sure.
All right. I'm
Don't do
very
it
sorry
again.
that happened.
Yeah, we don't abide by abuse here.
We don't like it. And Corton goes over, puts his hand on one of the guard's shoulders and just says, "Please make sure that you are treating everyone with dignity." And the guard sort of sighs a little bit and he just nods. He's obviously a little freaked out still. And they sort of turn to go, and Corton says, "Oh, and one more thing." And as they turn around, you see Corton's hand turn into Big B's hand, and he just smacks both of them.
Ah, there
You
it
said you
is.
don't-
There it is.
There it is.
And
At least it's familiar.
they go flying into the stone wall, and because the stone wall is not attached to anything, it falls over. So you now have 2 guards standing on top of a stone wall, heading back to their post,
Every
a little
time.
battered and bruised.
It's his favorite thing to do, isn't it?
It really is.
It's like a big bitch slap, but it's magic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Magic bitch slap.
Magical bitch slap.
And he looks at you, McCall, and he says, "Please let me know if anyone else decides to interfere with you in any way."
Right? Sure. Can do.
Now, you said that you were hungry still. Is anyone else?
Oh yeah, we fought like a war. Yeah. Oh shit. Sorry.
I
Alec.
haven't eaten in forever.
Yes.
I don't think that was a
robot hasn't
joke.
eaten.
I don't think that was a joke. I think that was a lament.
Yes.
You just laughed at his lament.
Yes.
Can't
I mean,
physically do
it was quite funny, but
No, you can laugh. It's fine. So, to the hero's feast, maybe?
Well, yes. Yes, I'd say so.
oh yeah, that's the good stuff.
Thank you.
Why didn't we eat that
So-
before we left? That was quite dumb of us.
Well, thank you for your follow, D&D Play 20. You get a little wink from Corton. You do wink.
Yeah.
And you head into the mine. For those who are new to the mine, what you see is doors that are 50 feet wide and 100 feet tall of pure adamantium, carved with the face of Bandoth Noblefury, the last dwarven king. They are open currently, as it is summertime and the air is fine. As you enter, you see about 500 feet in front of you is the doorway to the market on the second level of the mine. It is currently guarded by a dozen goblins
But they
who
cool. They're
are
cool.
inhabitants of the mine and help keep the mine safe. Normally, you would see goblins sort of in ragtag armor, looking just hella sketch. And in this case, you are not. They are carrying mithril spears and wearing mithril chainmail, looking quite dapper.
Draxus is gonna fist bump one of them as he walks by.
Yes, mind you, they still act the fool most of the time. So some of them are turned
There's a
the
dude.
wrong way. Some of them are sort of sitting on top of like the gates. Some of them are playing with fire in the corner. You know, there's just...
As long as they're not taking a crap in one of the rooms.
They are, but that's fine.
So you head down past a few doors and into a gorgeous room that is covered. All the walls are covered in these beautiful tapestries. These tapestries depict
Yeah.
the history of mine. In addition,
Oh, we got.
You got now for anyone else?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got.
he's
Yeah,
dropping out.
you got quiet and you're cutting out.
are we better now?
I could turn you up a little bit for the stream
Great.
for me. All right, now try
It's
it.
like slowly getting better.
All right.
All right,
Fabulous.
it's better. The
Great.
sound quality isn't quite as good, but we can hear you now.
Okay,
Better.
there is so now. Down through the center of the room, you see a beautifully carved mithril table. Upon it are golden plates and silverware, beautiful candlesticks, giant bowls running down the center, with silken napkins throughout.
Is it possible to throw the map up for this? Roll 20. I think that'd be cool.
We can.
The people.
This
that
was
haven't
now,
seen
mind
it-
you, this was the first map that I ever created. It is not. It's not super spectacular.
Beautiful.
Love it.
It's nice.
So we are over here in the corner where the table is. This beautiful mithril carved table. Tell me, who will sit down first?
Yeah, Draxus will sit. I mean, we haven't done this in the campaign, but I'm sure we've eaten here before. It's a table
Yeah.
of free food.
What
It's
is
delicious.
What is your favorite food?
What is Draxus' favorite? That's a great question. Gorf's is obvious. That's easy. But Draxus's? I'm gonna go with my own favorite food. It's gonna be noodles. I was gonna say,
Suddenly,
like,
as Daraxus sits down, 10 bowls suddenly appear in front of him, containing various styles of noodles, various sauces to mix them with, and various proteins. There's little
nice.
bits of chicken or sausage. There's little bits of beef, little meatballs. And all of them appear at the same time in front of him, while the napkin rises off the plate and sets itself delicately in his lap.
Oh.
Now, tell me, who sits down next?
Randolph will.
And what is Randolph's favorite food?
A veggie medley salad, a vegetable soup, and this is gonna throw a few people off, roasted chicken.
Gross. You're upsetting me now.
No carrot cake or,
Oh, and there's also a nice big pot of tea.
Oh, nice.
So, a perfect salad appears in front of you in a bowl that is about half your size. There's a huge tureen of vegetable soup and an entire roast chicken that appears in front of you. You may partake of all of it, any of it that you would like. Now, tell me, Relic, what is your favorite food?
Well,
Nuts
I
and
just-
bolts.
I think Relic's gone with them to the table, but this is actually his first time at ever even thinking about sitting down and seeing what would pop up.
So I think we're gonna go full Futurama on this one, and just a fabulous chased silver bowl full of oil.
Mm.
I thought you were gonna say alcohol.
In front of
That's
you,
not yum.
with
He's
three
not powered by
jugs,
alcohol.
three
Ally.
large jugs that just say XXX on them.
Ah, the good stuff.
That's
Thanks,
right.
table.
Thanks for the follow, Dungeon Mechanics.
That's right. You get a little wink from Corton. You sure do. Wink.
All right, I sit down and I take the jug and I'm like, thanks. So I drink it.
And what about you, McCall? Why don't you tell me?
Paula has been surviving on rations for most of her life, so probably something like a big roast fantasy creature with bread and gravy and anything she's ever seen. She doesn't know what it tastes like, but she's interested.
For you, what appears in front of you is a giant iron pot. It's taller than you are. You can't really see what's in it, but it smells amazing. And as you watch, the pot starts to morph. It creates spouts on various parts of it, and bowls appear beneath it. You see gravy pouring out of one, roasted carrots out of another, potatoes out of another, and the sauce, the juice, the au jus into another. There are 10 bowls that are all full of amazing things, and as it drains, the pot itself begins to melt until in front of you is an astonishing roast beast that has some legs sticking out, some drumsticks, some tentacles, a few what probably were heads there. Smells like every fabulous meat that you could imagine. And as the knife and fork rise up and start carving it, you see that each part of it is a little different. So there are amazing meats being laid on the plate in front of you.
That was my first thought too, Big Fluff.
Even the roast
Grinch is
beast.
coming for me. That's going to be a copyright strike on my channel from the Grinch. I get
it. It's nice that the knives are carving it, but I just grab a drumstick and start chowing down.
I love it. And it looks like as I'm sorry, what is your first name again? You've got too many names. What's your
Randolph.
Randolph?
Randolph? As Randolph sits down at the table, Corton looks over at him and says, if you're going to be with us for a while, I think you might need a little something. And
what would that be?
he reaches into his robe, and you see him reach his hand into what's obviously a bag of holding. And
Whole arm sinks into it.
he pulls out a sword of sharpness and passes it across the table to you. It says, just, I'm sure that you'll stay in the background taking notes, but just in case the others can't protect you, I thought you might enjoy this. So now you may add, as a special gift from McBluff, you may add a sword of sharpness to your inventory.
Thank you kindly. I shall certainly put it to good use.
Wonderful. So are there any questions that you would like to ask each other? You are sitting down at a fabulous feast. Oh, by the way, what shows up in front of Corton is a single cracker.
Sir.
He's watching his figure.
But when he takes a tiny little nibble of the cracker, and suddenly what you smell is the sensation of flying through the air. And you realize that Corton has such control of himself and of the magic around him that he has now been given a cracker that with each bite will both give him sustenance and exquisite emotional experiences. So the next bite is diving to the bottom of the ocean and finding the largest pearl. And the next bite is wandering through a fall forest as a single leaf falls and shows you the absolute beauty of sacrifice.
Is it a good
And that
cracker?
smell as you are
Like-
eating your food.
Like a Ritz, or is it like a sad one, like a saltine?
Saltines are good. I don't know what you're talking
I mean,
about.
compared to Ritz.
It's a very buttery cracker.
Okay.
It's absolutely
Like a Ritz or
I
a
get it.
club cracker.
We
Those are good
trade.
too.
I don't like mine.
Like this.
Yours does look weird and gross.
Yeah, thank you.
Suddenly you see little flowers start to grow out of the oil.
Oh, that's strange and
Yeah.
inviting, actually.
Can you eat those? Can you put those? Does it gum up your
Um,
works?
All goes to the same place, I suppose.
Well, interestingly enough, because of the way that your internal mechanisms work, if you were to consume flowers, essentially you would crush them in your gears sort of continually. And so for like an hour after you ate, you would just be giving off the scent of flowers.
Oh,
It's
flowers.
like how you take a bath.
Yes,
Interesting.
yes. Random flower bath. That's exactly what we want. So, McCall, yes. I do hope this is to your satisfaction.
Yeah.
If you would like to know a little more about us, well, we took this mine from both the Princess of the Hells and the Queen of the Demon Web Pits.
Princess
have
of the House.
Yes, Glacia. Did you know her?
Just buries her face in food and does not say anything.
Yes.
She, I heard she's very ornamental now. Is that how you would say her current state?
Corton just looks at you and he's like, too soon.
Okay, sorry. A god turned her into a bracelet. If you haven't heard, Mikkel.
Yeah, she dead.
Hmm
Super dead.
Corton looks over you and just like, how tactful of you. Yes. Yes.
I mean,
Was that not tactful?
yeah,
This is
were you a fan? Were you a fan of him, Mikkel? I shouldn't assume things. There was a mistake in mine.
Sorry.
I assume.
we all have complex feelings about things.
Yeah, that's quite true.
Got me there.
I feel like I know that more than most.
Uh,
Yeah.
But
Don't worry about those guards, though. I mean, I don't think they'll bother you again. The last time someone did something like that, I think they'd lost their place on the council or something. That
yeah,
was
I
crazy.
heard rumors that
One of the bear folks, right? Like,
yeah, pretty
hit their
crazy.
son or something.
Something like
Insane.
that.
Yep.
Now he got cancelled hard.
Cancelled.
Mm.
Hmm.
That's what we call it in hell when you kill someone. They're getting cancelled.
Yeah, well, yeah, this is not quite as
Hmm.
like that, but yeah,
Well, I wouldn't know. I've never been to hell. Or actually,
yeah.
I haven't been to a lot of
Same.
places.
I recommend it.
Okay.
Felix, as you are...
Felix.
Sorry. I'm so- You're not Felix today. You're Felix
What
tomorrow.
are those people?
Sorry, I'm apparently unstuck in time right now. There's... So, as you're having this conversation, you all start to see that the light that you can see through the doorway is beginning to turn towards sunset. As you have almost finished your feast, Corton looks at all of you and says, Would you two please escort our newcomers to clean rooms,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
apartments?
Of
I
course.
believe I've created several new. There should be plenty of room.
Created.
Yeah, it's part of the contract, I believe, is you get all this cool stuff.
Yeah, it's the perks are quite nice.
Yeah, so Corton, as you ask him about created, he is going to sort of give a little giggle, and he will get up from the table, smelling of the ability to see a star for exactly what it is. And he will lead you all out into the courtyard and towards the apartment complex. The wall of stone is still lying there on the ground. And as you watch, Corton lifts it up, and you see Bigby's hand reach out and start just tearing stone from the mountain and piling it up next to the apartment complex. You see a few trees get pulled down. And when
Yeah,
all of
just-
them are lying
just wait.
together, you then see him concentrate for a moment, and all of the materials start to melt into each other as a new apartment is suddenly appearing like liquid next to the old ones. Yes, I believe this shall do.
Yeah? What the?
I just
do
lean
say
over.
that's an impressive ability you have there.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess we have to make a separate
Very
one.
convenient, very convenient.
A ladies'
Now-
quarters. Makes sense.
as I suggest that you take your rest. It looks like everyone has had a long day today. Come to my quarters in the morning, and I shall tell you what is necessary. McCall, if you decide to stay, you may join these few in their tasks. Sleep on it, and let me know in the morning. And with that, he walks off.
Wait, what? He's hungry. Okay.
Don't worry about him too much. He likes to show off. He's very powerful, and he knows it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
What's the task?
kind of prickly. But
Well, basically, our party is the hunters harvest. So, well, we go anywhere. We're not really shackled to one place.
we do a lot of different things. Mostly hunt down things and take their parts.
Yeah.
I mean, like
What?
actual hunters.
Yes,
They're parts. Like his shield.
Parts.
His shield is
Yes,
is an
got it.
on-keg shield. We
Yes.
killed an on-keg. I don't remember if I did it or I think I did it.
It was a
Cool.
joint effort, you know. I mean,
it might have been Cordis. But
But I do say, has it just been the two of you?
well,
uh,
a lot of
no-
our other people
no.
are kind of busy right now.
Yeah.
Our artificers, lots of them doing special things.
Well, as you mentioned the artificers, you wave over to a large building with a big sign on it that says B&B Baubles. And they are now very busy taking care of that, where they actually sell the pieces of the creatures and various other items that one might gather from across the multiverse to the locals.
Ah, shit, we didn't get any slod or anything. What fools we were. Dang it.
Right?
Yeah.
Oops.
Plenty of dead slots, and you didn't
And-
even pick up a
and-
trophy for your artificers. Monsters.
Yeah.
Well,
that-
there's plenty of dead everything there.
yeah, I mean, we could have got Modrons. We could have got.
Modron.
For being an
Yeah,
ally.
now it kind of.
Well,
Well, I mean, we could always go back. We could take a quick pit stop. I mean, it's just a portal
you
away.
sure can.
I mean, shit.
Well,
I mean, I'm not quite tired yet.
We can just have one of the Formians bring them over. That's
That's a
not
great idea. Yeah, let's get them involved.
Anyway,
Work for
Um,
their.
Thank you for following, Koldik Steelskin. You get a little wing from Corton, you sure do. Wink. Wink.
yes.
So as you lead McCall into one of the rooms, or McCall as you explore one of the rooms, the one that was just built for you, you step inside and you see a perfectly furnished apartment. All of this was created from the stone and the trees and apparently the grass around them. You see a bed with a very nice mattress. You see a desk with a mirror and many drawers for your things, an armoire for you to hang clothes in, a little chest at the edge of your bed, a little table with a few chairs for writing or eating, and several windows with fabulous little curtains.
Oh yeah, I guess this one's yours.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
I
you?
mean, unless
Yeah. There's even a
have
lock
guests
on the door.
over. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. This.
Wild.
It's a nice place.
Yeah.
I tend to stay at the
No, it's like you
lodge.
strangely get nice things all of a sudden.
So if you guys ever need anything, that's where I'm usually staying at the lodge that we have for our party, the Hunter's Lodge. It's not far from here, over there. And Duraxis, I think you have your own apartment, so.
Yeah, I like doing alchemy and stuff, and so it's nice to have my own space.
It definitely smells weird.
Yeah,
Oh, right, 'cause-
It kind of smells
I
weird.
don't know where that came from, but it's true. Yes, it does smell weird.
Yeah, wait. Never mind.
So, are you all going to settle in for the night?
Yep. I guess I'll help Jack to his apartment too, and
Well, his name isn't Jack, is it?
or Randolph. Good old Randy.
Oh, yes. What can I do for you?
Yeah. So yeah, let me show you to your apartment. Should just be one of these fresh ones. Corton does make a few of them every so often.
Okay, very good, very good.
So,
Um.
as you all head to bed, it is lovely. McCall, you haven't gotten to sleep in a room like this in forever. You just can't remember the last time it happened. The bed is so soft that you feel a little awkward in it.
Right.
Rutherford, you are a little weird about this because you're used to Randolph. I'm sorry.
Rutherford.
Randolph.
That's great.
I just like Rutherford better. That's all. So, Randolph, you're a little disappointed. You're used to much better. Like, you're used to gorgeous sweets. You know, you have been paid very well for your services in the past, and you really like the finer thing. The night passes uneventfully, and when you wake, I will say that you may go to the Hero's Feast, go partake of that, as you will.
Nice
if-
little breakfast.
Is it worth tracking the temp HP?
Well, I would say yes for now. Who knows? Might happen.
Sure.
How much is
Your
it?
day unfolds.
Is it 2d10s?
I think the DM rolls it.
Oh, cool.
Yes, it is 2d10. And let's see.
Yay!
Yay!
Hooray!
Better than nothing. There's just barely better than nothing, but better than nothing. There.
How much was it?
3.
Oh.
But we are immune to fear, and we have advantage on wisdom saves still.
And
So.
poison.
And
Yeah.
poison, yes, immune to poison. It's pretty
No.
good.
As you head over to Corton's tower, McCall, have you decided to stay with the group?
For now.
right to be an ally.
You're still making up your mind.
No, for now. I mean, till I find something else or get bored.
Oh, sure. Totally makes
Thanks
sense.
for the follow, Lester the Jester. Or Lester Jester. Rather.
Just.
Thank you for your follow. You got a wink from Corton, you sure do. Wink! So, as you head over, you see that there are several people in Corton's tower already. I think roll me a history check.
Gotcha. Yay, advantage.
Advantage? Well, aren't you special?
Does a 25 work for you? Nice little crit there.
It does. You
It's
recognize
adequate.
3 changelings.
Oh god.
You recognize them as
He's
3 of the most powerful nobles from Non-Ked. At least until the new queen got there. For those of us who are just joining, Non-Ked is a country that had enslaved a large part of their population with an artifact that gave them a hive mind. Several years ago, the artifact was stolen and a civil war began, liberating the orcs who were the primary slaves, everywhere except in the capital. Recently, the Lich Queen Kilnasi returned from a 1,000-year exile in the Shadowfell and took control of the country. Right this moment, she is emptying towns and cities of their populations in order to murder them, turn their bodies into undead soldiers, and stick their souls into machines to create Warforged. She is then sending the Warforged
bad.
and the undead to the borders of her country, slowly building up an army that she will use to take control of the entire continent. The people of Delver's Dream are currently trying to create a coalition of all the other countries in order to fight this threat. And the changelings are the nobility of Non-Ked. So, Relic.
I think I walk up to them. Here's what happens. I slowly walk up behind them, put two firm grasps on their shoulders as I walk between them, and I just turn my head slightly and I look to Corton and I say, Corton, is there a reason I shouldn't slaughter our guests here?
As you say that, they all turn around and all of them, everyone give me an insight check.
Even me?
Yeah.
Oof.
That was terrible. That was really bad.
That was pretty bad.
What is going on with these?
15.
Will you roll for Damiette, please?
Yes.
Oh my god.
That was really bad for Relic.
Okay. Damiette, you are the only one that recognizes that there is, as soon as they look at a Warforged, there is utter shame on their face and absolute fear. They are terrified of this. They are absolutely terrified of Relic. Corton looks at Relic and he says, there's no need. We will be keeping them here as... And you see his lips sort of curdle as he says the next word. As... Yes. They will be staying in some of our... And then it sort of gets a sparkle in his eye. They'll be staying in some of our smaller rooms. And you realize that he means that they will be stuck in jail cells. And he turns to all of you and says, they have defected from the country. Apparently, the Lich Queen doesn't care who screws up, whether they are nobility or not. And if you say the wrong or do the wrong thing, apparently she'll put you on the slab just like she will anyone else.
All the privilege they've enjoyed their whole life means nothing now? Oh no!
Very sad, I know.
Oh man, it's terrible. I'm just broken up about it.
Yes. So, they bring some news, some very interesting news, it turns out. While the undead and the Warforged are amassing on the borders of all the countries around Non-Ked, they are not amassing on the border with the ocean. I think we might have just gotten our first break.
I think I know what you mean.
Duopolis?
No. The entire northern border of Non-Ked borders the sea.
Yeah.
It is open.
Oh, counter invasion.
Draxus,
Pardon?
the teleportation from the water.
Yeah. Oh. But don't we have to? Don't we have to be? Don't we have to be
I'm
there?
sorry. Are you having a little?
And I'm sorry, what did
a
I
little
miss?
mini stroke? Is this what's
No.
happening over there?
I'm having a moment of not putting the dots
Um,
together as a player.
Randolph, these lovely people in my grip just gets a little bit tighter, have told us that their northern border along the water is open in Nonked.
Yes.
And
Probably double check that before doing anything.
it's true.
It's not a bad point.
Fortunately, me and Styraxis know of a way to teleport to any known body of water.
Oh, do tell. This is the first I'm hearing of it.
We did tell you about it. It's how we got back from the Temple of Nemesis.
There's like special water there.
Wow.
But I don't know if we can get back there.
That might be interesting, but marching an entire army to the border of Nonked to that temple is probably not going to end terribly.
Could we go there, get the water, and bring it back, and then maybe it'll work? But
do you
we can always just go the long way and
that's
Do you all?
get ships.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you all not have boats?
We could just
Is
use
boats
ships
not
to
a
go
thing
around.
on this plane?
How? Yeah, we have boats.
I'm so sorry, Andy. What were you saying?
I said, oh, do you all not have boats? Is boats not a thing on this plane?
You know,
Well,
I'm
yes, we have
beginning to
boats,
enjoy
dear.
your company more and more, McCall. Yes. There is a place called Briny Bridge.
Oh, the pirates.
They have
Oh,
many
gosh.
boats.
Sorry, what was that?
Perhaps conscript them for their aid.
You mean pay them? That's. I mean, we do have money. Lots of it.
Yep.
I think that the best thing to do would be to create some friendships with the halflings.
Isn't that more of the, what do you call them, the Delvers' job?
If you don't want to go, Relic, you don't have to.
I mean, we kind
thank
of
God,
do
sir.
everything. We're kind of like the generalists. That's how I've always seen this.
It is everybody's job to get everything done right now. The world is at stake. Unless you want to be drowning in your kin and undead, we need to find a way to get through a wall of them. The way is to get around. This world has not been exposed to the multiverse nearly long enough for them to have developed teleportation magic on that scale. I can't move an entire army on my own. We will need to do this in a more traditional fashion. So, we need a fleet, and very few people have fleets like the halflings do. They rule the oceans in this area.
Well, I guess there's nothing left to do than to go talk to them.
I believe that would be wise. There is a contact that we have that knows how to get in touch with them. I think you'll enjoy talking to them again.
Again?
Yeah, again?
Corton just laughs. And you all have, by the time we get there, you will have sort of figured out what's going on. But because they have been in and out of the camp on many occasions,
Okay.
you will recognize them
Gotcha.
when you see them.
Gotcha.
So Corton is going to look at all of you. Is there anything else?
No.
I think that's it. Guess we're off to talk to some pirates.
Do you new people need anything? Randolph?
Yeah, are you guys,
Mikael?
you guys
You
good?
can just
I
go
believe,
for general. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I believe I should be quite all right, as long as somebody has a stock of potions.
Yeah,
What do you need
Dick.
potions for?
When we get ouchies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, we don't actually have
you
a
don't
dick.
have a healer.
We well, no, we don't.
No.
So
I used to
Well,
have
now you
someone.
do.
I mean, I make potions, but
That's dope.
yeah,
But
I mean,
now you do.
Oh, you have
Oh.
healing.
wait, is it rude to ask what you do?
Yeah. All right.
I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, it's rude, or yeah, you gotta tell me.
What?
Yeah, it's rude, or yeah, you're going to tell me. Us.
No. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah.
I grew up in the Blood War in Malbolge, and I became a healer because I'm not good at charismatic dealings. So yeah, now I have healing stuff, and I can also defend myself. But yeah, I can heal you.
Oh, that's fantastic. I used to have
Oh,
a
well,
person to
delightful.
help with repairs, but they're busy now. So yeah, I'll be fine though. You know.
Corton,
Well, I do say, if you're willing to let me tinker around, I might be able to do something about that.
Maybe we'll get if it gets to that point, Sir Randolph. That. Oh man. Okay, Corton.
Oh, nonsense. My father was a sir.
So as you all, as Corton is listening to what's going on, Corton looks at McCall and raises an eyebrow. He's very interested in a healer from the Blood War. It's just such an interesting combo.
I'm sure he is.
But he doesn't say anything right now. He simply says, well, the portal awaits.
Oh, all right. Let's get off to. I mean, I'm assuming we're going to Merchantry and then there, Briny Bridge.
Yes, so he's sending you down to Merchantry to meet your contact.
Or
Fantastic.
walking spiral.
Walking Spiral, thank you. The capital of Merchantry, which is the country that you're currently
Right
in.
here.
If anybody wants to actually look at the world map,
Yeah, I put it up.
we've got that up there, which is super exciting. There is Nanked is the large country up in the north with a huge border on the ocean, which apparently is unguarded. Ooh. So, as you head down to the portal, you'll be seeing the market for the first time, newcomers. What do you think of the giant elemental fountain and all of the various people? McCall, give me a perception check.
Ooh.
Just writing down everything he sees in the book with excruciating detail.
Where are we again? I got a 7 for those.
Tell me, McCall, what are you so distracted by?
And I'm probably just like, I don't think we have like butterflies in hell. I think there's a butterfly that I'm just like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
What?
Are you going to follow the butterfly?
Not for very long, but
Sure. If you just
a
follow
little
it
bit.
for like a minute,
Yeah.
you end up in front of a market stall that is manned by 3 beautiful women, all
no.
looking at you with very kind eyes. You, having grown up in the Blood War, immediately recognize a coven of night hags.
Yeah, they.
Cool.
What do you say?
Thought I escaped all of you. Come on. And I turn to leave.
They look at you, they drop their disguises, so you actually see their true forms. They say, "Oh, child of Glacia,
Yeah, sort
do
of.
here."
What?
Do I what?
Come here, child.
I think I'm gonna not do that. I don't. No, I'm good. Thanks.
You'll be here eventually when you see what we have for you.
Oh boy.
Relic just walks up and is like, "Thank you. We
Yeah.
don't want any Girl Scout cookies this year."
Yeah, we're all freshly
All
stocked.
freshened up.
We bought
Yeah.
from another troop.
Yes. Troop 437. Very, very
Yes.
lovely. Anyway, thank you. Goodbye. Just walk off.
And you hear them muttering to themselves as you're wandering off. We'll get that little bitch.
Oh, it's on.
She just rolls up her sleeve.
Just writes in the book,
Sleeve.
hag wants bitch, question mark.
Oh, jeez.
Yep. Oh man. Yeah, they have a stall in the mine too. Somehow.
Why?
Yeah,
And
they
as
kind
you-
of stiff on their way in. It wasn't great.
I mean, they definitely they helped you get the mine. I mean, let's be
They didn't
honest.
help us get the mine. I mean,
They held that pit fiend in check the entire time you guys were wandering around the 4th level.
not this party.
the other party, but yeah.
These are the ladies that did that.
Yeah.
So there wouldn't be a mine if they had done. I'm just saying they earned their contract.
Right. But this party can still be kind of butthurt about the fact that there are hags in the mine.
Oh, they can
I mean,
absolutely
everybody
be butthurt
is.
Right.
if they want. But you live in a world where being butthurt doesn't change things.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's fine. I'm just saying, you know.
Just like real life.
It's our right.
So, as you all head off to the portal, you actually see Formians setting up their market stall as well. Nothing really cool happening yet,
Wave.
but
Like, oh hey, can you guys bring Slod and Modron bodies to B&B Bubbles? Is that something you guys can do?
it's sort of
Tell them what you actually want. We want all of the carnage and everything from what's left
Yeah,
of
we
the war.
want the parts. We can use
All
the
of them.
parts. As much as you can
thank you.
carry
You-
and bring.
and
You're
they
asking for them. That's hilarious.
they look at you and they say that Modrons will be fine. We will bring you Modrons, but the slot are food. We will trade
Oh,
for
that's
different.
true. No, that totally works. I mean, that makes sense. Modrons are great. Yeah. Please
Fabulous.
do. Yeah,
And your dead brethren.
yeah, do you eat them?
Of course.
Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, it works.
Why waste it?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. You know.
Waste not, want not.
So, as you head to the portal, having avoided the hags and chatted with the Formians, you find yourself in the hallway of portals. In front of the portal to Joaquin's Spiral, there is a human guard. He passes you through. He obviously knows who you are. And he looks a little askance at the rabbit and the tiefling, but because they're with you, they're let through.
Do we know who this guy is, or he's just a random human guard?
We've walked past him before.
I mean,
Come on.
I can give you a name and a whole backstory if
Okay,
you really
I was
want
I was
it.
thinking.
name.
I forgot that because there was a human we saved from the harpies, but he's working at B&B. I forgot about that.
He's working at B&B Baubles.
Yeah.
Gunter, yeah.
Gunter, yeah. Right.
There's so
Never mind.
you head down into Merchantry, into Walking Spiral. You enter the building that houses the portal. You see the long hall with 2 doors. On the door leading to Peregrine's apartment, there is a sign that says, "Do not disturb." So you head out the other doorway to a bustling street in Merchantry, in Walking Spiral, the capital. As you look around, you see Corton's handiwork. He has carved each building into a sculpture, a stunning work of art that complements every building around it. You see there's joy on people's faces when they just look at the place that they live. Even the most menial houses are part of a larger work of art that is the entire city. And standing in front of the doorway, waiting, are Hobby Lobby Louse and Sally.
Wait. Sally?
For those who don't know, Hobby Lobby Louse was a smuggler. He had been working with the pirates from Briny Bridge to bring contraband onto the continent. Sally was a real bitch that the Delver's Dream group met, and it turns out was the disguise for the pit fiend that they had to destroy in order to take control of the mine.
Yeah. Didn't Sally not exist? Because she was a pit fiend?
No, the pit fiend is dead, but apparently the pit fiend didn't kill Sally. They just took her form.
Gotcha. I thought the pit fiend just made up Sally. So her identity was stolen.
It was.
Gotcha. I didn't pick that up. I thought he just was disguised himself as a person.
It is straight up identity theft.
Yeah. And now we don't know who was the actual bitch. Was it this Sally or the pit fiend Sally? We don't know.
You don't know, but this Sally seems to be sort of a little shyer and not as aggressive and awful as the pit fiend. So, for those
That's
of you
good.
who don't know, Sally was the assistant to another one of the hunters, to Baltor. She apparently, as the pit fiend, had been helping in the smuggling operation that was happening. And you have no idea what had happened to this Sally. What's going on with her? So, what do you do when you see them? You know who Hobby Lobby Louse is. You know that he's a shady character.
Yeah. Sally? It? What? How are you here?
Oh, yes, I was kidnapped. It was terrible.
Oh, that's
They kept me locked
awful.
up with demons and devils, these monsters. And she takes one look at the tiefling. And for everyone in the audience,
That's racist.
tieflings do not exist on this world. This world for 1,000 years did not have access to the multiverse. They were completely cut off from all the other planes. So there were no interactions with demons, devils, angels. So there are no tieflings, there are no ASMR, anything like that. So this is going to be the first tiefling that a lot of people are seeing. So Sally sees you and just starts crying. Please don't hurt me, I didn't. Oh God, they're going to take me back.
That's a new one.
They haven't, and
Don't,
you're
Mikhail,
fine.
don't take it personally. I get that a lot in this town too. It's
Yeah, we're basically fighting his race, and yeah, it's not. It's. I mean, they're fighting like all of our races except for the hair.
yeah. Diraxis gets it too.
Yeah,
I mean,
It's
yeah,
a drow.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's just a bunch of racism here, and you just have to take it with a stride.
Hey,
These people are good intended, but they are
I can
ignorant.
tell you, it's actually kind of refreshing because usually people I encounter look at me like they want to eat me or murder me
Oh,
immediately.
that's-
So
Oh, that. Okay.
yeah,
Well, I mean,
You know,
that's a good
progress.
perspective. That's a good perspective.
Progress, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know.
it's refreshing, like I said.
I love
So
it.
I guess-
McCall, give me so I'm gonna say that Randolph, you know Hobby Lobby Louse. You have dealt with him before. There have been situations where you needed to get to Briny Bridge, and he was always your go-to because he works with the merchant princes. It turns out that the smuggling operation was actually for the merchant princes as a way to avoid paying taxes to each other. So,
Of course.
And they all do it.
I'm assuming he doesn't know this persona, though.
no, he would know that persona. He has seen you in the College of Bards. He
Fair enough.
He does not recognize that you might not be who you say you are.
Right, yeah. How have you been, Lobby Louse? I heard you've had a bit of an interesting experiences recently.
I'm fine. It's fine. You know, I've turned going to the straight and narrow now.
Oh yeah.
Insight check.
We all believe that. Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Roll me some
Insight
insight.
check.
25.
19.
You recognize anybody that got
17.
over 18. Sorry, anybody over 18. You realize that he is absolutely telling the truth, but there is an absolute terror behind that truth. Somebody really scared him, and that's why he's working for Corton.
Probably Corton scared him.
Probably.
Weirdly enough, actually, it wasn't Corton himself that did it.
Something the matter, Hobby? No, you look a little skittish.
I'm fine. And he does literally does like a little tap dance in front of you to prove that he is just fine.
That's
just
how
fine.
he does it. He's like, oh, yeah.
Like, please don't look into it any further.
Don't ask any more questions.
Might as well shout distraction, like that was
Oi! Calm down, Robert. There's
Hey,
no
that's-
need to get personal.
It's a slur.
it's a slur. I'll have you know. Mechanical
it's
person.
fine. Mechanical person.
I'll have
with
you know.
I'm sorry well, that's fine.
Biomechanical organism.
Right.
As long as you don't weigh so much that you sink the ship, Metal Man.
We'll have to cross that ship when we get to it. Anyway,
Gangplank. Cross the gangplank when you get to it.
Yeah.
is that what it's called? A gangplank. Interesting. Okay. Diraxis, I guess. Would you like to? I'm not so good with.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'm sure Corton already let you know, but we are going to be needing to get to Briny Bridge to talk to.
Shut up! Good God, you're bad at this. Lordy
I
Lord.
I just don't care.
Listen,
You sneak around, but
there's not even supposed to be any trade between the pirates and the mainland. They do
Yeah.
terrible things out
yeah, I'm
there.
not asking to do trade. Need to get there.
If you get us caught before we even get on the boat, we'll all be arrested.
Yeah, I mean, but you're the one shouting right now, so
You know what? You're infuriating.
yeah,
Is what you are.
I get that sometimes.
This. I hope one of them pirates cuts your damn tongue out. Well, I hope.
Yeah, then I have to learn
Now.
telepathy.
God. You can just annoy people with every single sense, can't you? You
Yep.
little bastard. Just come with me,
Yep.
keep your hoods up. People around here don't have any idea what you are, and we're a very strange group.
That's
Try
true.
to keep a little bit discreet if we can.
All right.
And he starts walking. Do you all like lift hoods or anything, like try to disguise yourselves at all?
I want to try and hide myself. I'm gonna roll, probably.
Sure, I'll put my hood up.
Okay.
Yep. Diraxis will, I guess, put his hood up, but he still has his goggles on. He has to, because
Sure.
he can't
All right.
see
Sure.
during the day.
So
Fascinating.
so you've got so Relic, I'm sorry, I missed. Did you throw your hood up?
I did,
Okay.
but I'm getting a 3 for stealth if we're rolling that.
So it's actually not going to be stealth, it's going to be performance because you are attempting to disguise yourself.
Oh, great.
13.
So give me.
Yeah, that's a 20
All right.
for Diraxis.
Oh wow! So Diraxis just looks like someone in a cloak. You're good.
Right, let's see.
Oh, dang!
McCall, you're good. You're good.
I'll roll, Jack.
Randolph. God.
Randolph doesn't need a disguise. He's well known in the city.
Oh.
But he does a fabulous job letting people know that he is there. Good job, Randolph.
Walking down the street, like,
So, the only Relic, you were having a really difficult time. People sort of look over at you as though they'll see like a glint of light off your cheek instead of like, that looks metallic, but they don't really think much of it. Nobody like stops and tries to like remove your cowl or anything.
Hey!
Right.
Just...
They probably hear my armor and they just suspect I am like someone trying to hide that they're a warrior or something.
Right. And people sort of know, like Hobby Lobby Loss has a reputation, so it's not that weird for him to be walking around with a bunch of hooded figures. As you are walking, Sally comes up to McCall and she's like, so are you here to continue what the others started?
No, I fell out of the sky.
Oh my goodness. You were one of
Yeah.
those.
Yeah, she's like
Yeah.
a refugee, so you should be like kinda there.
Basically, yeah.
Oh.
Just got evicted from Malbolge. Violently evicted.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, that must have been
No,
awful.
actually, it's fine. Like, it sucked at the time, but now I'm fine. In fact, this is much better. Like, no one has tried to eat me or murder me in the last, couple days. It's been
Well, that sounds nice.
pretty bad.
It's been like a week for me since anyone has threatened to murder me. So that's
Yay!
glorious. I like that a lot. So you're not here to continue the drug trade.
The what?
Oh, did you not know?
Drug? No. Nope. I've just been a medic in the blood war for my whole life, basically. And I'm
Oh.
here accidentally.
Well, you might be able to help then. You see, there
With the drug
is
trade.
Help with the drug trade.
there's when the pit fiend had me and had taken my form, there was something awful that they were doing to the creatures of the Feywild. You see, and she begins to describe a portal that exists on Briny Bridge to the Feywild that appeared one day after the world had been opened up to the multiverse. Very few know about it. It is a beautiful tree that grew directly into another tree right by a lake, creating a perfect circle. And if you step through that circle at the right time of day, just when the water sparkles with the sunset, you will be transported to the Feywild. She tells you a story of what was going on. Apparently, creatures of the Feywild have a different type of biology to the rest of us. There is... Sorry, did I cut out there for a minute?
Nope.
Okay, good. All right, never mind it. They have a different biology to the rest of us. Apparently, there is something that happens when they consume crystals that can create an electrical charge. So, piezoelectric crystals like quartz. If you crush it up and they snort it, apparently it makes them start to glow. Literally, the cells in their body start to create tiny bursts of electricity, and they begin to glow. And they
Can we
feel...
hear this?
Yes, she is talking.
I am scribbling this in my book furiously.
What are
Fascinating.
cells?
There is... The medic asks. Yes. They're the smallest components of what make us us. They exist throughout our bodies. And apparently, when a fey creature begins to do this, initially it's fine, they feel good, they glow with an inner light, they feel ecstatic about the world and what's going on around them. But over time, and she begins to describe areas of the forest where there are now statues of pure quartz that used to be fey creatures. She says, the more you do it, the more you want to do it. And apparently it coats your insides and then your outsides until you become a statue. And we've tried everything. We've tried to cure the disease on them. We've tried to heal them. Nothing seems to work. But you're a healer. You might be able to help them.
Not much about rock sickness. But I can see what I can do.
I do
Thank
say
you.
I wouldn't mind putting my intellect towards that endeavor.
Thank
Yeah,
you so
you go
much.
nuts on that.
And she sort of walks along in silence, a little happier though, knowing that someone might actually help her. You get through the city fairly quickly, and you find an old bridge that is rarely used. It's fallen into disrepair right next to one of the rivers. It smells of sewage, which is probably why it's rarely used. But in the river, you see a boat with a halfling. And I don't want to be stereotypical, but this halfling does in fact have an eye patch. Apparently, he got into some scuffles, and he
Does
does have a
hook for
parrot.
hand or a peg leg?
He's got a parrot. He does in fact, he is missing his hand, but there is no hook. And he looks
Missed
at all of
opportunity.
you. Right there.
Needs to get on that.
He looks at all of you and he says, "Okay, you the ones, come on. Do you get in the boat?"
Hop right into the
Us?
boat.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I very gently try to shift my weight onto the boat.
Being very ginger about getting in
Don't tip the boat.
Yeah. Just
You
nimbly zoop in.
as Relic sits down in the back of the boat, you see the front of the boat rise with the halfling still sitting in it, and he looks at it and it's like, "Could you sit in the center, please?"
Oh, yes, of course. And I shift towards the center a bit.
The front of the boat just falls back down in the water.
Yeah, Durax is gonna get in after Relly gets settled.
Yeah, we'll wait.
Delightful, good.
Just
Good.
thoroughly jostle everyone.
You
while
good?
I watch.
You good now?
Perfect.
Okay, yeah, let's get it.
Perfect. So, you get in the boat. It actually takes you out a ways into the ocean, and in front of you, you see from a distance a huge tall ship with massive masts and sails coming towards you. And as it comes towards you, it seems to be moving very slowly, or else your perspective is totally off. And you realize after a while that your perspective is totally off, because this ship is only half the size of a normal ship that would be a tall ship. And you realize, oh yeah, because they're halflings. The boats are only half as big.
Oh, that's
It's gonna be awkward.
yeah.
Got
That's
it.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
So, but you do manage to get onto that ship. All of you are sort of like laying very close to the deck so that you're not hit as like ropes and sails go sort of careening around as they're changing direction.
Is it too late to get out and swim?
Yeah, is this-
That's right.
Like we
You
need
got your
ships.
little motor butt.
Probably think.
This might not work. at
No,
all.
no. Relic, for those of you who don't know, discovered that he had a secret compartment in his butt that is a propeller.
No, it's definitely my feet, but
Oh.
you know.
I just like the phrase, he is a motor butt.
It's a good pun.
We're gonna live that down.
So, no, but yeah, I mean, you may like sort of grab onto the rudder if you want.
Help it along a little bit. A little butt.
Right, a little bit. But you take your time getting across the vast bit of ocean to the island of Briny Bridge. And this is what you see when you enter the dock.
That they're just all shorter.
They're all much shorter. You see a town thriving, but decrepit at the same time.
We don't have to keep saying but.
Now I do. Now it's a thing. It's a thing that's
Okay.
happening to you. To
Thriving
you, it's
but
happening now. Thriving but decrepit, as it is obvious that the people here care far more for drink and revelry than they do for caring for their homes. You see broken out windows, you see broken doors, roofs falling in. It looks almost as though as soon as a house becomes unlivable, because it needs repair, the tenants simply leave and build a new house instead of repairing the old.
Isn't that more?
Efficient. Yeah, so there's a significantly more work.
You know what they say?
I
If
do
it's
say.
broke, don't fix it.
Don't fix it. Yeah.
That's right. You step
I do
onto the
say.
dock and immediately see several people get into a fist fight right in front of you that sort of tumbles along down the street, ending with all of them laughing and lying in the alleyway. You look
Also
again.
friendly fisticuffs.
Oh, that's right. That's right. They're delightful. They're fucking delightful. You hear music coming from many places, all clashing. And you see one larger person step up and say, "Obby lobby louse, you fucking bastard. What the hell are you doing here?" And with that, we will end today's session.
Ooh, nice.
Oh man.
So,
Yeah.
That was
everybody, we will
awesome.
be rating in just a moment. I want to thank Andy, and I want to thank Damien for joining us today.
Yes. Heck yeah.
And it was really
It
fun.
was quite fun.
Oh, so good.
I
You were
love both your
fabulous.
characters already, by the way.
Thanks
It's great.
So good.
for having
So
me.
delightful.
I'm excited.
Yes. There is now, for some announcements, of course, thank you for joining us for Hunter's Harvest. Tomorrow, oh, and thank you for the bits, Danielle. You're fabulous. There's tomorrow, we will be having our Delver's Dream campaign.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens
Go.
with the party shattered now. Oh, dear. Then on Thursday, we, of course, start our Wheel of Time campaign. Very excited about
Oh,
that.
man.
And because we got to 500 followers on Twitter today, we shall be giving away Fizzband's Treasury of Dragons on Thursday. So, Sick Professor, thank you for popping that up there. Click there. You
Yep.
can head right over to the giveaway. Put in as many entries as you would like. And join us on Thursday to find out who wins. Next, on Friday, we are going to be having our Magic the Gathering Arena Smackdown with
yeah.
Lando.
Gonna be great.
Doing fabulous things, building some decks, having some fun, beating the crap out of people. It's just a delightful, chill, fabulous thing.
It's pretty great. Yeah.
And yes, Lester Jester, there are multiple campaigns going on in the same world because the Patchwork Planet is a persistent place. We are working towards actually building this into a campaign setting that we're going to be doing a Kickstarter for next year. So look out for that. It's going to be fabulous. And the fun part of the campaign setting is that the adventures that you are watching right now are in fact going to become the legends of the campaign setting. You get to see the stories as they are happening. You get to see the artifacts as they are created. You get to see the spells as they are learned. So be on the watch for that next year when we do it. And with that, let us raid into some fabulous channel. And let's see who is live. Lando, could you please send us to Rolling Together because we are part of the Roll Together stream team.
Give me 1 second as I log into our account.
Stream team!
Yeah.
It is glorious. Yes, they have been absolutely delightful. It is fabulous to work with them. There are 10 streams that are all full of, we are an Alphabet Mafia channel, full of people who are LGBTQ and their allies here, which is why we are Play Nerd allies.
Yep.
We have many neurodivergent folks. And on these other streams, you have a lot of people who are neurodivergent. You have got LGBTQ, you've got players of color, you've got DMs of color, you've got all kinds of fabulous people really creating an amazing community and really supporting everybody else in it. So definitely check out all the other channels. You can go check out the Rolling Together stream team on Twitch to go and follow all of them so you know when they go live. But if you grab one of us, most of the time we will be able to raid into each other. So you can just check out all the delightful things that are happening.
Cruise along the raids.
Yes, so let me know, Lando, when
Yep.
we are
We are
about to raid.
We are raiding.
And
it's populating.
Remember that when we go to them, we tell them what Play Nerd Allies is bringing to the potluck. I am going to be bringing Pit Fiend Identity Theft is what I'm going to be bringing to the potluck.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna be bringing some motor oil and a flour. That's what I'm gonna be bringing.
Yes.
Excellent. All right. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right.
Bye.
Doodle-doo.
Oh, I think ads cut out at the last second
Oh
there too.
no.
Ugh.